How's it going, everybody? So since I didn't do the TA routine on a video format for Netflix, I'm going to do it here for Beyond, but I just wanted to drop a text format as well as a video format on two of my favorite watches this week. Netflix is one and Beyond is going to be the other, but I'm also going to post tons of others, so don't worry, these won't be the only ones. And now if you guys are watching this video and you're paying attention, drop a ticker or two on the trade floor and I will do your picks for this week's trade floor tickers. Last week I did a bunch of different ones for people. This week I'm going to do a couple more. So if you want to post some, please drop them in there, and I will go ahead and cover them when I get to them today. But they'll be posted up a little bit before futures are pushing and stuff. So look around, a few hours from now, and I'll be posting that video up and going through all your watches. But let's go through Beyond now. I was just kind of lazily drawing lines. But let's just grab the top of our range. Let's grab the bottom of our range, and let's move on. Let's go to the daily time frame, and I'm gonna start from this far left like we always do. Just zoom in over here so I don't have to focus on anything. On that right side, you don't want to trick yourself. You don't want to make things line up just because it looks good. You want to actually mark something for a reason. Why am I marking these? Do you have that reason in your head? I'm marking them because they are merging candles. They're the tops of buyers, tops of new spots being broken out too. Either it has a good rise in volume, or it's a good gap range, or it's a pushing new spot. It doesn't. One of those few reasons that we push with these TA routine, you need to watch on YouTube. We have tons and tons of videos on this, but right now I'm just grabbing the tops of my emerging candles. And a lot of the time too, you can kind of cheat and grab the midpoints of some candles, like this breakout candle, because it broke a new spot, had a good size. Same with this one, you can mark about the midpoint of it, and in the future it'll most likely be utilized. So can auto zoom out of that. Let's pull over here because we know we have this gap, so they're going to of course be missing spots over here. So let's kind of zoom in and see where we can grab. So I see an emerging candle right here. Again, left to right, always starting left to right. Like that candle, like that candle, like that candle. And you can see it lining up perfectly as you go left to right. So you can see you miss some over here. There's one here, and as you don't need all these lines, and you can focus just on the ones around current price, but just showing you, you can leave these lines here forever, and you just about have everything you need for forever. You don't have to delete these lines. I can leave these lines on here forever. Mark the midpoint of that candle. Let's zoom in. Let's start getting serious now. But now let's get our ugly trend lines. And what I like to do is I like to grab some ugly trend lines on the daily, because I can see there is a nice little falling wedge angle here from current trend right here. And we've already talked about this multiple times. So if you want to scroll back to some older videos in the analyst TA section, you definitely can. Just type in Beyond in the search bar, and you'll be able to go find it a little quicker. But let's draw our ugly lines. We have them drawn now. Let's go to the 4-hour. Let's make them a little cleaner. So what I like to do is I just like to draw them so I get a good picture on where I'm going to draw, so I can see. But let's get from about top of this one here. Let's go to about top of that hill right there. So I'm going about from this drop to this hill point, and then I'm gonna go from this little support here down to where price was here. So I almost get that wick right there, and I get that drop there. And you can see we do have kind of a falling wedge look to it. But let's go back to the daily, and you can see a little better. Very clean. Now, as you can see, that earnings is giving us the push we need. So far, what can you grab from this? We have tons of levels we can write down. You have the support from this low, so if you want to end up marking this, that's how you could see if it's going to end up being bearish. So if price ends up dropping under 118.50s, we can look to continue shorting. But what else can we say about this chart? We have a good bullish engulfing with an amazing spike in volume that's not just over average volume, but also rising over the previous day. Um, After earnings. So we can start to look above this recent high right here for a breakout. But also, not just that, as you can see, we have had a good strong resistance right here. It perfectly lines up with our what will be our previous day high tomorrow. So it looks like if we look above 124, we have a really good breakout. Above 126 can be our first target. And let's say price, let's zoom in. Let's say price ends up starting well above all of this. We have all of those other levels that we can look forward to. So yeah, the daily looks like crap whenever you're adding all those levels, but you go down to this time frame where we're actually trading, and you're gonna appreciate all the levels that you have here. You can see how well they work. You can see price end up pushing, rejecting, holding this support. You can see it end up utilizing all of our levels, even on the smaller time frames. Let's look at the previous days. Before earnings, you can see it even jump roped around that level there. So again, And that's just the first part of that. That's the biggest part of the TA routine. And then of course when you get down to it, you narrow down what's your trade range. Of course you're going to have your pre-market high low, and you're going to be looking to short under it or go long above that. So we're going to be looking, of course, around its pre-market. If it once it's not extended hours, once its pre-market is here tomorrow, we'll be looking around that pre-market high low. We'll be looking at this previous day high, this previous day low, and we'll be looking to take that bigger trade. So also be looking to play beyond this week. Beyond looks like it's going to be giving us a lot of really good movers. Let's look at the weekly as well. Weekly time frame is set up. We have a decent move in volume. Again, not quite average. It is rising over the last. That's a very good sign. But what candlestick pattern is this? So we have a low and we have a higher low. So that's a good sign so far. But it's also a bullish harami. What pattern is that? Do you guys study through the course? Do you know that when you go to this weekly time frame? So please drop some pattern examples in the post setups channel, post charts channel. But hopefully you guys like this video. We'll be looking above those levels though, below those levels here for those bigger plays, and of course all the levels on the outside will be targets. And of course I'll type up a little bit when I send this video.